Tanner Author, top student athlete recruiting. Today, I want to show you a real live financial aid package. It might look similar to something you might get as you get into the recruiting process and apply to schools and fill out the FAFSA and things like that. It may not look like yours based on the financial situation of this individual, but just want to explain a few areas and how sometimes packages can look maybe a little bit better than they truly are. That's one of the things. Sometimes they are packaged in a way that it looks, fantastic, and sometimes they're packaged in a way that's a little more realistic. So every school packages them differently, and that's one thing we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to share my screen, and we'll have a look at some of this stuff. All right, so we're looking at a real financial aid package here. This is a student I was working with last year, and you'll see here. So the cost of the institution was $45,460. That's with room and board. All right, so each semester, half of that, $22,730 for each semester. All right, they got a merit award. $8,000 a semester, so $16,000 based on grades and other potential things. So a good start, and it takes a little bit of chunk off of that of the total. So that's free money. That's scholarship money. That's not something you have to pay back. So that's good. This student had a lot of financial need. And we talked about the FAFSA, and that's how they determine your EFC and your estimated family contribution and how much federal government thinks your family can afford to go to college. Based on that, the student was eligible for the Pell Grant. And the Pell Grant, they got $4,745 in Pell Grant money. All right. The max of the Pell Grant is about $6,800. So a little bit shy of the max there, and the school and the government decide that, but that is definitely something like that. Then they have the Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant. That's for maybe the lowest income folks. He was able to get another $1,000 out of that situation. So that's, again, those are grant money, right? That's money you don't have to pay back. And then in addition to all of that, each state has their own little programs, right? Big programs, I should call them, but programs that offer money based on need. And each state has a different criteria. If your family income, estimated family contribution falls under a certain amount, you qualify for the whole portion of that. It's not, if you're under, you get the whole thing. If you're over, you don't get any of it. So that's why sometimes it's important to appeal financial aid packages, because you could be really close. Let's say you're $1 over the amount of the estimated family contribution to get the Illinois MAP grant, which is what it's called. If you appealed your financial aid and you had some special circumstance, medical bills, things that you paid for out of pocket, loss of job, change of job, loss of income, whatever it might be in your family, if you can drop that EFC by $1, if that was your situation, you could qualify for the whole $5,496. So there's ways you can, utilize that. Now, with a MAP grant, for instance, this student's from Illinois. They had to go to school in Illinois. All right, same thing in other states. If you, almost every state has a program. This is for a private school. But if you go to school in the state you're from, you potentially are eligible for that if your family income is below a certain number. All right, here's where it gets interesting, right? Federal Work Study Program. That's, again, a program you have to qualify for based on your family contribution. But most schools will give you work study. They may not call it federal work study. They might have their own program. Typically, it's a minimum wage job on campus. All right, sometimes it pays more. And a chance for you to earn money towards college. There's a lot of institutions that have it. There's some that the jobs are great and they kind of fall into your field and are almost like internships. There's other ones that are, freshman year, you have to work in the cafeteria. I don't know a lot of kids that love working in the cafeteria, right? But, if you have to pay for college, that might be a way to do it. But, potentially you could earn more money working off campus if you're a waiter or, doing something else, and it still counts, still money you're earning. It just doesn't, this makes it look pretty that, hey, you got $2,000 off of the total cost because you earned $1,000 a semester. Well, the reality is you have to earn that. If you don't if you only earn $500 for the year because you only work that many hours, you're not going to get the full 2,000. All right. So work study is an interesting thing they put in there. I've seen packages where it's an additional piece at the end, like, okay, your discount is this is how much it's going to cost you to school, and you could potentially also earn $2,000 more. It's a little more realistic. I feel like this, makes it feel good that you're going to do that, because some of the kids may not even want to work, right? Even though that they have this in there, if you don't work, you don't earn any of that money, and so now your total is down $2,000. So it depends on how much you work and things like that. You could work way more than that. Everybody's a little bit different, but if you're a student athlete, it's a little bit harder to work, right? So just putting that out there. Then we have different kinds of loans. These are the federal subsidized and unsubsidized loans. Every student that can pretty much get that loan. It's low interest rates, and it's about $5,500 in total. All right, is what the value is. Again, loans, you got to pay them back, but they have pretty low interest rates, and if it has a little skin in the game, I think that's good. But again, it's money you're paying back. And then this program, this college, interestingly enough, puts the Parent Plus loan in the financial aid package. All right, that is a loan that you and your parents co-sign on and are responsible for, obviously, repaying it. It's still a decent interest rate. It's not as good as the subsidized and unsubsidized loan, but they put that in there. And really, this program or this college gave $2,000 more, all right, than the total cost to this person in financial aid, kind of, right? They put that number in there. It might cover books. It might cover that extra money. It might cover books, travel expenses if it's a little further away, general expenses that you might have as a student, whatever that might be. I'm a bit skeptical of the Parent Plus loan. It can be a good thing, but obviously you're going to go in significant debt if you're taking out, 12,719 plus 2,000 plus 3,500. So, $17,719 a year in loan, you're going to go in significant debt, and paying that back is going to be complicated. Plus, then you got the work study, all right, which is money that you have to earn. So $19,719 of this is not free money, right? So this person who has an EFC that's very low, we're talking an EFC under, $5,000 probably. So the government says, all right, your family can afford, you to pay about $5,000 for you to go to college per year. This family is actually, in reality, paying $19,000 a year. All right, so how is a family that's supposed to pay $5,000, all right, going to be able to afford $19,000 without loans, right? I think everybody, anybody in that situation is going to have to take out loans. The 5,500 is great. It's probably going to have to do work study. You're going to have to earn your keep. They're not just going to give you free money all the way through. But how do you make up that difference? How do you make up that extra, 12,719, or to say overpaid, $10,719? How are you going to make that up? Are you going to take out a loan? Can you ask for more? Hey, our family contribution is only $5,000. All right, but we have to pay after loans. I don't really want to take out the Parent Plus loan. Is there anything else your college can do to help me to bridge this gap and make a situation where I'm not paying that extra 10,719 or 12,719, however you want to look at it. That is a question you need to ask. That is definitely, if you have other offers, I think you get many offers and they're all going to look different. So deciphering what they actually say is complicated. If someone just looks at this financial aid package straight off and they don't know what any of this stuff means and they're new to this experience, they might look at it and say, okay, it costs $45,000 to go to the school and I'm getting $47,000 in financial aid. I'm going. That's great. Let's do it. Not realizing the implications of, this much in loan, what work study really means, stuff like that. It's complicated, right? So, there's all kinds of different things you can do. There's other things you can do to help get the cost lower. Your freshman year probably can't do it, but, I think sophomore year, you can usually become a resident assistant in the dorms. That usually pays for the room portion of room and board, which is definitely several $1,000s. And it pays hourly, right? So that can be a great way to cut the cost. The working off campus might pay more than a work study job. It might be worth your time to be able to look for a work study job, or not a work study job, or for a campus off campus job, still getting the check. One of the things with work study too, I want to explain is typically when you have work study, they write you a check every pay period. All right. And a lot of kids just cash that check and it doesn't go back into they don't just put it right back into their bill, to pay their bill off. So there's different things you can, need to make sense of when you're getting all these different types of packages. So just a little bit of a, explanation, merit money. There could be athletic money could be in there. Pell Grant, what that is. Supplemental educational opportunity grant, the state grants that are available that are out there, the different types of loans, and deciding if that's a good package for you or not. Having things to compare to, leverage offers, ask for more. Those are all things I help clients with. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Dan at tsarecruiting.com.